it's just amazing how many types of product you can put your art on. It
Right?
still amazes me. And, I'm constantly doing research and trying to find out what other markets there are. That's part of why I love this industry too, is how
Wow.
vast it can be. I think the moment I signed up, it was such a clear decision because I knew that investing in myself was going to pay off.
Welcome. I'm here with Julia Simons. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm so good. Excited to dive into your story today. Could you kick us off by just telling us a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
So my name is Julia Simons. I am a service pattern designer and product developer based out of Seattle. I've been in the surface pattern design industry for, I want to say, about 5 years now. I specialize definitely in surface pattern design, but I also do illustration and then product development as well for another company. And I've always been a very creative person. So here I am now in kind of a different path than I anticipated, but I'm excited to share about it.
Take me back to 2020. That's the year that you took immersion. So, what was going on in your life when you found immersion? And had you heard of surface pattern design before, or were you learning about it for the first time?
My background, my educational background is actually in apparel design and production. I was kind of involved in a little bit of surface design, knowing that that's a big part of the fashion industry, but I didn't really know that it was a whole thing of its own. I kind of just thought, if you worked for a fashion company or an apparel company, you would, have in-house designers and that was the whole thing. I remember kind of feeling a little stuck because I am a creative person and I needed an outlet for it. Through my career, I wasn't doing anything that creative. And it definitely felt like something was missing. And I remember specifically, I was walking through REI.
Yeah.
It was like looking at all the beautiful colors and patterns all over the product. And I was like, it's everywhere. How do I get involved in it? And it
Mhm.
really just started with me doing my own stuff just in my own time, just playing around with Illustrator. I already had some experience from college, but it was just kind of, it started out, I would say, as a hobby for like 6 months. And then, of course, the universe played its role. And I saw a little ad for someone named Bonnie Christine, who was hosting, I think it was one of your intro pattern courses. I was like, oh, well, that looks like fun. Like that looks like something that I can kind of try out. And, the rest is history almost because it just introduced me to a whole world of community and a whole new art form that I really wasn't really aware of. I kind of took a note from your book in that the next year after the course, I really just played around because as we discussed, I was familiar with the program, but the concept of surface pattern design was very new to me. And everything that you could create and all the ways that you can express your creativity through repeating patterns, that was all new. So I really wanted to set aside time to just play around. And I really didn't have any goals other than just explore.
Mhm.
And that was for about a year after the course, applying what I learned and going back to lessons and being like, what was that one thing that she mentioned in this one lesson? And being able to go back and revisit was super helpful.
Talk to me about that year. I think oftentimes people really struggle to give themselves permission to play and experiment and figure out what they do and don't like, and quite frankly, make artwork that they don't like. And I had a very similar year in my
Yeah.
early career. So tell me a little bit more about what came to life for you during that.
I really liked to kick it off. I really liked participating in challenges. I thought that was incredibly helpful because they were like small goals that I could achieve. And it gave me opportunity to explore different topics and themes. And giving myself permission to do that helped kind of build a foundation of what I think became my signature style. Because you learn what you like, you learn what you don't, and that's anything from colors to elements, styles, all of that. So participating in challenges was great. I think also starting an Instagram account. Do not like sharing stuff. It makes me very nervous. It makes me feel very vulnerable. But that was one thing that I was like, you need to start getting your work out there, whether or not it's, going to be wonderful. It got me in the rhythm of sharing my work, getting feedback, whether it was positive or negative. And I think in this industry, you kind of need that. You need to have that experience to know that nothing has to be personal. If you like what you create, then that's the most important part. And that's really what that time was finding out what I wanted to do, because there's so much opportunity.
Tell me what has happened for you in the last few years.
A lot of stuff that I could have never imagined. I really did take a path of licensing. I do love the concept of doing something once and then seeing it come to life in a variety of different formats. I think there's something really beautiful about that. I would say in the past 2 years, I've achieved a handful of licenses that I'm really proud. When I was younger, I was a quilter, did sewing, little bitty projects, and my favorite part was strolling through the fabric aisle and seeing all the patterns. And so having a few fabric lines come out, it was just a dream come true that I didn't even know it was a dream until it came true. And I was like, this makes so much sense. And it makes me so happy. So you can see some over here. I've licensed 3 fabric collections with a fabric company, which is great. And then after that, I got to explore other formats. I have a few licenses with wallpaper and scrapbook paper. It's just amazing how many types of product you can put your art on. It
Right?
still amazes me. And, I'm constantly doing research and trying to find out what other markets there are. That's part of why I love this industry too, is how
Wow.
fast it can be.
Tell me about what success you've seen from a personal perspective, seeing your work come to life like this. What has it meant for you personally?
It feels like a little bit more meaning in the work that I do because I can track, from the moment a project has started, from the moment you conceive a design to seeing it come out in a product form and then, in on someone's wall or, on a project that they make with fabric. There's something that is really gratifying about that process and being a part of it. And so personally, it just makes me feel, sounds a little corny, but it makes me feel special
Yeah.
that I get to express myself in a way and then have other people receive it positively. I think the moment I signed up, it was such a clear decision because I knew that investing in myself was going to pay off. Of course, you look into what you're offering in the course and what you hope to get out of it. But the moment that I decided that it was something for me to give myself a really clear path forward, it became very easy. And I think having those feelings towards yourself, the confidence in yourself to do that, sets you out on the right foot. One thing I'll give a shout out to is the community that
And
that we're a part of. I think it's an incredibly welcoming one and one that's incredibly supportive as well. I've had, a few different peer groups over the years, and, one of them I'm still in contact with. I speak with them every month, and it's great to have those kind of people in your life when you're doing this kind of work. I didn't have a lot of people in this industry before I came into it. So there was really no one that I could relate to, bounce ideas off of. So just know that if you are coming into this course and this community, that it's with, open arms and definitely community over competition, I would say.
thank you so much for being here today. I love your story. Your work is gorgeous. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. It's been great to speak with you, and I'll see you again soon.